So we're removing the wrapping from the car. This wrapping is a little bit easier than some of the other wrappings that we deal with. And how you can kind of tell it's going to be easier is when you see the glue marks on the sides here and the wrapping is shrunk inward, so it's shrunk, and you have the glue and residue on the outsides. That means it's going to probably be an easier job when it comes to like really damaged wrapping. The worst case scenario is when it expands and it's like really hard and the two almost become one. Anyways, if you have wrapping that's cracked like this, there's a good chance that you can just remove it with a little razor blade. So we have a little plastic razor blade. If you're going to use a little plastic razor blade, you use a little bit of heat. Just get underneath it. I'm sorry, I'm looking to the camera to do this. And just get underneath there. And pretty soon you'll get a big section like we did here. There we go. See that? And what you want to do is get a big section. You want to get your finger underneath it and then try to pull it up. What happens is after we do all this, you can see that we have some residue here. You first want to give it a go with methylated spirits. Methylated spirits is the cheapest, so you can get a liter of methylated spirits for $5. So just try the methylated spirits, wipe it off, see if it comes off. If it doesn't come off, then your next step would be the gum and tire remover. That's about $24 for that size of container. Actually, I think it goes up to $50 now. And then the worst case scenario is you get acetone. And of course, then all you're trying to do is get the gum off. And then after you get the gum off, you want to polish it. There is an old school method, which is the caramel wheel, which is right here. We've used it in the past for different projects. I wouldn't recommend it for removing wrappings because what we'll do is when it starts rubbing against the surface, it'll leave these like yellow marks if you go through it. And of course, there's a chance that you can burn through the section of the car where the vinyl is. But we'll just zoom in while George does it. So on a scale of bad wrappings, this is probably like, I'd say it's probably like a 3. It's really not bad at all, really easy to do. When it starts getting harder, you really get into 8 and 9 range. That's when the wrapping has almost become one with the bonnet. And then it requires a little bit more work. But when you're able to move as fast as we are now in the wrapping world, I would say this is pretty quick. We never get the cars that everything comes off in one piece because we just usually deal with trash cars and we're more on the restoration side of detailing. So we don't get those nice ones where you can kind of get a one pull. Usually this is pretty much standard for us. But if you're trying to give it a go, just trying to get that razor blade underneath. Hopefully I'm keeping this up. A little bit of heat doesn't hurt. You just don't want to use too much. It's really not necessary. Again, and your jobs are a lot harder than this. They'll definitely be necessary. You just don't want to get the surface too hot. If you get the surface too hot, this is my house. How it looks like if someone tries to burn through the surface of a car, this is what it will look like if you start burning too hard. Again, this isn't us. All we did was we removed the wrapping on this section here. There was some wrapping down here. This car is horribly polished. I told the guy, I was like, oh man, I shouldn't take it back to where you got polished at. You can see the holograms in there. So we have the wrapping up here, so we got to remove all that residue and polish it back so it doesn't look like it's there. We had to take off, they had a little front bug protector here. We had to take that off. And yeah, we have that. See the holograms here? No. It's always hard to pick up holograms in a camera. But we got to take those off. There we go. There, yeah, you should be able to see it right there. All that nastiness.